Hello and welcome. In this tutorial we are going to learn how to crochet this very pretty and easy Tunisian shawl. My shawl has a length from about 1.27 m and the width is about 47-48 centimeters. It's really easy to make. I did here small spaces, and through the spaces we pull the long part from the shawl. Let's see how we create this really very pretty Tunisian shawl. The yarn that I use is from Yarn Art. It's Angora Active, 25% mohair, 75% acrylic, 100 gram gives us 500 meter, and it suggests crochet hook number 5. I use for my shawl a Tunisian hook. This is number 4.5, and two normal hooks. One is number 3 and one is number 4. You don't have to use two hooks. I did it because I crochet very tight. In total I needed 2 skins, but from the second skin is a lot left. But you need the second skin if you want to make the measures that I have. I used for my shawl a Tunisian hook, but for this video I'm going to use a normal hook because it's easier for me to work in front of the camera. So I start with the magic ring. For this I wrap the yarn around 2 fingers and I have now 2 threads here. I insert my hook under the first thread, I grab the second thread, I go under the first thread and I twist the yarn. Now I grab the long yarn and chain 1, and here is the magic ring. 2 more chains and I have now 3 chains in total, and I count this as a double crochet. 2 more double crochets into the ring. And we have in total here now with the 3 chains 3 double crochets. I pull now this short yarn, I turn my work. Here is my first stitch. I skip the stitch, I go to the second one, I insert the hook into the second stitch, I grab the yarn and I have now 2 loops on my hook. I keep these 2 loops. I go to the last stitch, I insert my hook into the stitch, so into the chain here. I grab the yarn and I pull through. I have now 3 loops on the hook. I grab the yarn, I pull through 1 loop. I grab the yarn, I pull through 2 loops. I grab the yarn and I pull through the last 2 loops. Now we start with 4 rows that we have to repeat for our shawl. This is the front side and the first row. Here I'm going to make an increase. This I'm going to do with the yarn over. So here is my yarn over, here the loop on my hook. I skip the first thread and I go to the second one. I insert my hook under this thread. I grab the yarn and I pull through. Now I have 3 loops on my hook. Here is my last stitch. Here I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch and I am under 2 threads with the hook. I grab the yarn and I pull through. Now grab the yarn, pull through 1 loop, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull through the last 2 loops, and this was the second row. So the first row was with an increase in the front side and the back side was the second row. Now the third row. In this row we don't make increase. So without yarn over, here is my loop, here the first stitch. We have here 1 thread, here the second thread, and in between of them is our increase from the last row. I insert my hook now into this thread, which is between the both two threads, the first two threads, sorry. I grab the yarn, I pull through. So I go to the next thread, I insert my hook in under this thread, I grab the yarn, I pull through, and here is the last stitch. I insert my hook into this stitch. My hook is under two threads, I grab the yarn and I pull through. Now grab the yarn, this was the third row, we make now the fourth. Grab the yarn, pull through the first loop, now grab the yarn and pull through two loops. Again through two loops and through the last two loops. So let's start again with the first row. Here we make again increase. So yarn over, I skip the first stitch, the first thread, and I go to the second one. I insert my hook again under this second thread, I grab the yarn and I pull through. And with the yarn over, I have now 3 stitches. I go to the next thread, I go under the thread, I grab the yarn and I pull through. And here's my last stitch. I insert my hook into the stitch, always under 2 threads, I grab the yarn and I pull through. This was the first row, now the second row. I grab the yarn, I pull through 1 loop and now through 2 loops. Again through 2 loops, through 2 loops, and through the last 2 loops. This was the second row. Now the third row. Here we don't make increase. Here is the loop, the first thread, the second and the third. So 1 thread is here, 1 thread is here, and in between of them is the increase from the last row. So I insert my hook now under this second thread. This is the increase from the last row. I grab the yarn, pull through. I go to the next thread. I insert my hook under this thread, I grab the yarn and I pull through. I go under the next thread, and here is the last stitch. I insert my hook into the stitch, I grab the yarn and I pull through. You see, I'm a person who crochets really very tight. So now I grab the yarn, I pull through the first loop, I grab the yarn, I pull through 2 loops, and again through 2 loops, through 2 loops, and through the last 2 loops. This was the fourth row, so it's very easy. 1 row in the front side is with increase, 1 row is without increase. Let's do it one more time together. We crochet now the first row again, and this is the row with the increase. Our increase is only the yarn over. I skip the first thread and I go under the second thread. I grab the yarn and I pull through. Under the next thread, under the next thread, and here is the last stitch. When we have our last stitch, we insert our hook always into the stitch. I grab the yarn, I pull through. I grab the yarn, I pull through 1 loop, and now always through 2 loops. And this is the second row. Now the third row, it's again in the front side. This time we don't make increase. And you can see your increase always because you have here 1 thread, the second thread, and this increase thread is a little bit more back. I don't know how to explain it. So this is here in the front, this thread is in the front, and this thread is more in the back. So now, without increase, I skip the first thread, I go under the second here. This is the increase from the last row, and I continue. I insert my hook always under the threads. Here's my last stitch. I insert my hook into the stitch. I grab the yarn, I pull through. Now grab the yarn, pull through one loop, and now through two loops. Let's do it one more time together. So the first row with increase, yarn over, skip the first thread, we go under the second thread. Here is the last stitch. I insert my hook into the stitch. I grab the yarn, I pull it through one loop and now through two loops. This is now the second row. We crochet now the third row. This is the row without increase. I skip the first thread and I go here into another second one. In between these two threads, I insert my hook under the thread, I grab the yarn and I pull it through. And I continue. So this is the third row. Here is my last stitch. I insert the hook into the stitch. I grab the yarn, I pull through one loop and now always through loops, two loops. So the 4 rows are complete. This is how we work our Tunisian shawl. We make the increases always here on the right side, and the left side we crochet straight up. It's really very easy to do. You repeat this 4 rows until you have your measures where you want to start with the holes. I'm going to continue a little bit now and then I'll show you the next step. My shawl is growing up. I have a length now from about 1.16 m and the width is about 46 centimeters. At this point I want to create now small spaces and I will pull through the spaces the long part from the shawl. My last row here is multiple of 7. I have in total now in this last row 84 centimeters. Multiple of 7 because I start to work now separately 7 stitches. So at first 7 stitches, then the next 7 stitches, the next 7 stitches, and this is how I start to create now the spaces. Let's start and you will understand what I mean. So this is now the row that I crochet without increases. And I'm going to do this now. I crochet normal, the row without increases. And I do this now until the end of the row. And then we start to create the holes. The row is complete and now I start to create the holes. I'm going to crochet now 7 stitches. So I grab my yarn, I pull through the first loop, and this is my first stitch. And now normal, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. This is my second stitch. Again, through 2 loops. I have now 3 stitches, through 2 loops, 4 stitches, through 2 loops, 5 stitches, through 2 loops, 6 stitches, through 2 loops. I have in total 7 stitches. So I work now with this 7 stitches. So again, normal. I skip the first and I insert my hook through the second stitch until the end of the row. here is my last stitch. I go normal through the stitch under both threads. Now again, pull the yarn through the first loop, now through 2 loops. So I have 1 row from the right to the left, 1 row from the left to the right. So in the front side 1 row and the back side 1 row. Here also in the front side 1 row and the back side 1 row. 2 sets. I continue. This is the front side. And the back side. So I crocheted now 3 rounds on the front side, 3 rounds on the back side. I'm going to continue a little bit. I don't know how high I want to make it, but I tell you this when I come back. I did in total here now 7 sets. So 7 rows in the front side, 7 rows in the back side. I change now and I work with a normal hook, and in my case I have number 3.5. So now here is the loop on the hook. Here is my first stitch. I skip the stitch. I go 1 row less. Here's the second stitch, and I insert my hook into this stitch. I grab the yarn, I pull through, and I make a slip stitch, a loose slip stitch. Again, 1 row less to the next stitch. I insert my hook into the stitch. I grab the yarn, I pull through. And also here a slip stitch. Again, 1 row less, I insert my hook into the stitch, I grab the yarn, I pull through, and I make a slip stitch. 1 row less, into the stitch, grab the yarn, pull through, make a slip stitch. And here again 1 row less, grab the yarn, pull through, make also here a slip stitch. And here is the last stitch. Also here I insert my hook into the stitch, I grab the yarn and I pull through. And I make a slip stitch. I take now again my Tunisian needle, and this is how it looks now. I continue with the next 7 stitches. Now I grab the yarn and I work normal my row. That means I grab the yarn and I pull through 2 loops. This is my first stitch. Through the next 2 loops I have 2 stitches. Through the next 2 loops, 3 stitches, through 2 loops, 4 stitches, through 2 loops, 5 stitches, through 2 loops, 6 stitches, and again pull through 2 loops and we have 7 stitches. I'm in the front side and I work normal my row. I skip the first and I go to the second stitch. So we work normal our rows. That means we don't count this as the end of the row. So I go through 1 stitch, and now again through 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, And I repeat this until I have again 7 sets in total. In total we make 7 sets. The 7 sets are complete. I have 7 rows on the front side, 7 rows on the back side. And I change again my hook. So I continue now with a crochet hook. Here is the loop. I skip the stitch under the loop. I go 1 row less and I insert my hook again into the stitch. I grab the yarn, pull through, and I make a slip stitch. I go 1 row less. I insert also here my hook into the next stitch. I grab the yarn, pull through, and I make a slip stitch. It's not so easy in front of the cam with this long Tunisian hook. I don't have so many space here, and this is why it's a little bit difficult. So again, 1 row less into the stitch and make a slip stitch. I go 1 row less into the next stitch and also here a slip stitch. 1 row less into the stitch, also here a slip stitch. One row less into the stitch, a slip stitch. Again 1 row less into the stitch, a slip stitch. And here is my last stitch. I insert my hook also into the stitch and I make here 1 slip stitch. And I change again the hook. So this is complete. I start now with the next 7 stitches. So I grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, and this is stitch number 1. Again, stitch 2, stitch 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So here is the row in the front side and I just did the row on the back side. This is my first set. In total I'm going to do 7 sets, then I change again the hook, I make this row with the slip stitches and then the next 7 stitches. I repeat this until the end of the row. The row is complete and we have now here small pieces and we are going to connect these pieces together. So normally we would start here with an increase, but we don't do this. We start same as we did it also before. So that means I skip the first stitch and I insert my hook into the next, also into the next one, into the next, also into the next one, and into the next one. And here is my last stitch. I insert my hook here now into the stitch. I go into the stitch with my hook and my hook is under these 2 threads. I grab the yarn and I pull through. So now I take the next piece here and I start with 1 stitch 2 stitches, 3 stitches, 4 stitches, 5, 6, and here is the last stitch. I insert my hook again into the stitch. The hook is under both threads. I grab the yarn and I pull through. Let's do it one more time together. Here is the next piece. I go through the first stitch. We have now 2 stitches, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here is the last stitch. I insert the hook again into the stitch. I grab the yarn and I pull it through. So, and this is how it looks like. We have here now our small spaces. Repeat this now until the end of the row. The row is complete and we have here now our spaces. I just worked here on the front side. I continue now with the back side. So I do it normal. At first I grab the yarn and I pull it through one loop, and now through 2 loops. And again through 2 loops. We work same as we did it also before. And we repeat this until the end of the row. The row is complete and this is how it looks like. From now I can start to crochet my shawl, same as I did it also before. I'm going to crochet a few rows. I don't know how many rows I will do in total, but I tell you this when I come back. So now I start normal, the row with the increase. So yarn over, I skip the first stitch and I go under the second. I do this row with increase. So I repeat this now until the end of the row. And I work here in the front side, then the back side, then the next row in the front side without increase, and then again the back side. So I do this same as I did it also before when I crocheted my shawl. I'm going to crochet a few rows and then I come back and I tell you how many rows I need. I did in total here, from the space until the last row, 10 centimeters. If you want, you can crochet of course more rows. For me is this enough. Now we are going to start to crochet a small border. I'm going to crochet now with the normal hook, and in my case is this number 3.5. At first chain 1, and we have here stitches. So here are the threads. I worked under these threads with my Tunisian hook, and now I'm going to work into the stitches. Here is one row with stitches. So I insert my hook now into this first stitch and I make a single crochet. Into the next stitch a single crochet, also into the next stitch a single crochet, and I'm going to do this now with every stitch. In every stitch, one single crochet until the end of the row. And here we start then with our border. I am at the end of the round. I did my last single crochet into the last stitch. And here I'm going to start now with a border. I changed again my hook. I take this time number 4. You don't have to do this. I do it for me because I'm a person who crochets very, very tight. And I want my border a little bit loose. So now chain 3. I skip these 3 chains and I go to my single crochet. I insert my hook now into the single crochet and I go under both threads. I grab the yarn, I pull it through, and I have now 2 loops on my hook. I grab the yarn and I pull it through both loops. Now I go to the next stitch and I make here 1 single crochet. I go to the next stitch, I make here a 2nd single crochet. I go to the next stitch and I make here a 3rd single crochet. I have now 3 single crochets. Again, chain 3. I skip the 3 chains and I go to the single crochet. I insert my hook again into the single crochet under both threads. I grab the yarn, I pull it through, and I have 2 loops on my hook. Now grab the yarn and pull it through both loops. Again, into the next stitch, 1 single crochet. Into the next stitch a 2nd single crochet, and into the next stitch a 3rd single crochet. Chain 3. I skip the 3 chains and I go to the single crochet. I insert my hook again into the single crochet, I grab the yarn, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, I grab the yarn and I pull through this 2 loops. Let's do it one more time together. Into the next stitch a single crochet, into the next stitch a 2nd single crochet, and into the next stitch a 3rd single crochet. Chain 3, and into the stitch from the single crochet, I insert my hook there, I grab the yarn, I pull it through. We have again 2 loops on the hook, I grab the yarn and I pull it through these 2 loops, and this is how it looks like. We are going to make this now all the way around the shawl until we reach again the point where we started here our border. I'm going to complete this now and then I show you how it looks like. The border is crocheted and the shawl is complete. What we have to do now is to pull this long part through the spaces here. And this is how we make it. So we go through every space. And I fix it now a little bit. And the shawl is complete. It's really a very, very easy and beautiful shawl. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I say again, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time. Thank you.